So, evidence such as in my film UFOs and NATO, or the real story of the TR-3B, or other things about UFOs, why don't we hear about it in the mainstream media? Well, I have been approached by mainstream media more than once to take part in their documentaries, and I received an email in May this year from Plum Pictures. Now, Plum Pictures are currently in the process of producing a new documentary about the UFO phenomenon for Channel 4, or in particular it's about the ET cover-up. That's what they've described it as. So this email says, Plum Pictures are in the process of making a film about the ET cover-up, and I wanted to talk in more detail with you about your possible involvement. So this is Channel 4 wanting me to be one of the talking heads in their UFO documentary, but I have not agreed to take part. And this clip that I'm going to show you is a telephone call of me talking to the production company, and you'll understand from this phone call why we never get any truth on our television.
Hello, Joanna speaking.
Hello, Joanna. My name's RichardDHall. I got an email from you asking if I was interested in taking part in a film that you're making.
Oh, hi, Richard. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Oh, thanks for giving me a call. I was just about to kind of try and hunt you down, because that number on your site isn't...
Yeah, that doesn't work anymore.
Doesn't go through anymore. So, shall I tell you a little bit about what we're doing?
Yeah, sure.
We are making a documentary for Channel 4 about the ET cover-up / conspiracy, and it's a presenter-led film. We've got a guy called Dan Schreiber who is kind of taking us on this journey, and he is one of the head writers on QI, and he produces Museum of Curiosity on Radio 4, so he's kind of he's not an expert in the field by any means, but he's really interested in it, in this whole topic. So we've been going around the country speaking to various different people and getting their views and theories on what's going on with regards to aliens and extraterrestrials, and how, if there is, how it's being covered up by the government or other parties involved. And I just wanted to, a few people have mentioned your name. I know you run quite a big website, not just with regards to ETs, but with the whole kind of truth movement. And I just wanted to kind of get your take on the whole thing and see if you would be interested in talking to us. Okay, well, can I ask a few questions? Sure.
So you mentioned ET cover-up.
Yeah.
So that expresses two things to me. It's saying whoever's making the film must believe that extraterrestrials exist and that they're being covered up. Do you believe those two things?
I personally am open-minded. I'm not really... I don't really know either way, but obviously this film has been a learning curve for us.
Okay, so if you're passionate enough to make a Channel 4 program and get it commissioned, how can you possibly not believe in what you're actually producing?
Well, it's an exploration of the different theories out there. It's not saying this is definitely happening or this is definitely happening. It's looking at going to speak to the different people.
All right, okay, so it's more about looking at the people rather than trying to find the truth on their evidence.
No, it's examining the theories.
Okay.
Dan gets really excited about all the different theories.
Right. Okay.
We're not making a decision about whether they're true or not. We're just kind of examining the different layers of the theories.
Okay. Now you mentioned in your email ET cover-up.
That's our top line.
What will the title of the program be?
Something along those lines. That is our working title.
No. Well, what is the title that will appear on Channel 4?
Oh, I have no idea. That's something that Channel 4 will decide
the
edit.
The reason why I asked that is because the last one was called Confessions of an Alien Abductee, and no one was told what it was going to be called. So it's debunking the subject just in the title before they've even got into the documentary. Okay, so you can't even give me that. Okay, all right.
The working title, as I said, and it will be on the contributor release form, is Dan Schreiber Project: The Big ET Cover-Up, and our top line is Cover-Up Conspiracy. That's our angle.
And so do you know when it will air?
No, I don't. It will be later on this year.
Okay.
But everything. We have to give Channel 4
All right.
everything by in kind of a few weeks' time. So it will be later this year, but I can't say when.
Right. Now, you mentioned my website, and as you said, there's a lot of information on there. And I've produced 49 TV shows which cover the UFO subject.
Yeah.
And I've made 7 feature-length films.
Yeah.
And they're all evidence-based. Okay. Now, I see that you've been to film Miles Johnston at the Basis Conference. Now, as far as I'm concerned, Miles Johnston is not a serious researcher. He promotes fantasists and people who are delusional. I don't know why he does that. I have a theory on that, but there's no way I would be associated with any documentary that features the likes of Miles Johnston, because, you know, you might as well go to a circus if you're going to put people like him on. So there's no way I would agree to be in the same TV show as Miles Johnston. Now, the other thing would be, I would only agree to take part if you gave me editorial control of the programme. Would you be prepared to do that?
No, absolutely. I mean, I can't. It's just not within my right to do that.
Would you be able to request that from because obviously you did say that I have you did.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, I would like to view the programme that you intend to air before it airs.
Yeah.
So that I could have a final say in whether it airs or not. So that if there's any...
That's just not something that broadcasters do. It just isn't done. You can't give contributors the right to say, actually, change this, change that.
I understand that's how the way you work, but I also believe that is that's why we never get any truth on television. Because your industry works in that way. I don't work that way when I produce television programs. I let people see what I'm going to air, and if they're not happy with it, I will change it.
I mean, I can show you things as we're going along, perhaps, but I could never give you editorial control.
Your industry has a history of trapping people into making these kind of documentaries and then ridiculing them on screen. That's why. No, that is. I can give you a list of people who will make that claim.
Who will what, sorry?
Who will make that claim, that they were trapped into making a documentary.
Oh, I'm not claiming that I'm being trapped into making any sort of documentary. I just wanted to kind of... I want you to know that the documentary that we're making doesn't have an agenda, and it's not setting out to ridicule anyone, and we have quite a strict duty of care.
Okay, well...
That we don't want to ridicule people and make fun of people.
So, right, there will be a single-page programme proposal for this documentary then, yes?
Well, not really, no.
The industry works on programme proposals, so there must be.
Well, there are treatments written and submitted to Channel 4, yes, in the development stages. But
right.
Again,
would you be able to email me all of those treatments that have been emailed to Channel 4, so I can have a look at them to see what it is that you're trying to make in this programme?
Sure, I can email you some information about the programme, absolutely. But it's going to be exactly what I just told you. We're exploring the ET phenomenon, specifically the cover-up and conspiracy surrounding the subject. We're making a non-judgmental documentary about the different theories that are out there, and we don't have any specific agenda.
Well, if you're going to screen Miles Johnston in the Basis Conference, you're not making a non-judgmental program. I mean, you might as well go to the circus. If you're going to screen that, that is not a non-judgmental documentary on the ET cover-up, because that conference is not about the ET cover-up.
No.
It's a rodeo show.
That was more research than anything else, if I'm being honest with you. And obviously, I can't say what's going to end up in the final edit or not. But.
Okay, well, if you're not prepared to give me any editorial control, then
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Right, okay, well, there's no way that I would... That's the only condition...
I can't give you editorial control of a programme that we're making for Channel 4. It just doesn't work like that.
Well, I know it doesn't work like that, and that's what's wrong with the television industry.
Okay, well, I don't think we're going to get anywhere in that case. I mean, it's totally up to you. I don't want to coerce you into doing anything. I just thought it would be interesting to speak to you.
Okay.
I know that you have some kind of on-current great theories, and you're good at talking.
They're not. It's not theories. I present evidence.
Yeah. Well,
and can I advise that you watch, but please do not take any content from UFOs and NATO the human mutilation cover-up, because there are people who are being mutilated and left in remote places in connection with UFOs, and the military have tried to fire particular weapons at UFOs.
Yeah, and it was
right. This is an extremely serious subject which you should not be ridiculing, which it sounds like you are to me. Well, if you want to treat it seriously, then you should be giving the likes of me editorial control.
That's it. I mean, you can't say that.
Yes, well, I just have said it.
You can't say that that I'm ridiculing the subject.
Well, okay. Well, I tell you what. Let me judge that when you produce what you produce, because every other program that's appeared on Channel 4 of this nature has been a ridicule attempt.
Okay, I mean, we're trying to tread a different path here, but there's only...
Well, I don't believe you.
I can only try and reassure you. I can only... This is all I'm doing all I can. When all I'm saying is I'd like you to be involved, but there's just no way that I can give you editorial control.
Right, well, there's no way I can take part then. Okay.
Okay, that's
all right.
Fine.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers now. Bye-bye. All right, so get some beers in for that one later this year. God knows what it's going to be like. Now, you might think I've been a little bit harsh on Miles Johnston with those comments. But I'm just going to give you some information. The last documentary that they made, as I said, was called Confessions of an Alien Abductee. And about 18 months before Channel 4 made that documentary, there was an organisation set up called AMASH. Anyone heard of it? Anomalous Mind Management Abductee Contactee Helpline. And that was set up by Miles Johnston and a few other people. And their role was to interview people who claim to have had abduction-type experiences, film them on camera, and have meetings and all the rest of it. So they built up a database of people who make these kind of claims. And Miles, was the person who collaborated with Channel 4 to get their subjects into that Channel 4 documentary, where those people were made to look foolish on screen. And I know that one woman was extremely annoyed at that. All right? So he was instrumental in that previous debunking attempt. Now, they actually contacted me, that same production company that were making that programme, and they wanted to use the David Cameron clip. Anyone seen the clip where I challenged David Cameron on UFOs? They wanted to put that in Confessions of an Alien Abductee. And I said, well, I want you to show David Cameron's apology. I want you to read out the letter that David Cameron wrote to me personally. I want you to show the whole thing in its context, so it's not being used as a ridicule attempt. And they didn't show it. Right? Not that I wanted them to. I just give them all my conditions as them showing that, and they didn't. And then I got wind that Miles was collaborating with Mainstream on this. And I discussed it with Miles. I've got all the emails. I said to him, Miles, why are you getting involved with Channel 4? This is going to be an absolute debunking attempt of the abduction phenomenon. Oh, Richard, you have to give them a chance. We have to give them a chance. I said, no way, Miles. You know what's going on here. So I disagreed with his decision to collaborate with Channel 4 before the last documentary was made. Now, Miles Johnston is no longer operating under the name of MASH. He's operating under his old name, which is Bases. And I would suggest the reason why he's doing that is because the name of MASH was trashed in that documentary by Channel 4. But he's now operating under a new name. And he held a little conference recently where he's allowed Plum Pictures into that conference to film every nutter that he's had on that stage and take whatever content that they want from to make another documentary. So he's doing exactly the same again. Right? So I don't think I'm being harsh on Miles Johnston with my comments in that. I suspect MASH was set up specifically for that Channel 4 documentary. There's a honeypot for people who make such claims so they can pick out the ones they're going to debunk and put them on TV. So who is Miles Johnston? He's trying to persuade me to take part in hit pieces like this. Just like Ed Miliband, right? We should not be negotiating with Ed Miliband because he is not the leader. Just as these people are not the leaders. They're flunkies. Because it will be the intelligence agencies who are behind the making of such documentaries to try and get people to think there's nothing to the UFO phenomenon, when there is. Right? These are professional piss takers, and he wants me to go grovelling to them. Right? We should not be collaborating with these people. We should be exposing them. Thank you.